everybody. Okay, let's get started with today's. First of all, as usual, let's start with the DXY. So what's happening? Price failed to depreciate from these highs. In fact, it continued to rally and it even closed above this pattern, and it's now forming some compression. We also have confirmed a stop hunt of the first double top. So the reason I've separated this pattern here is because it's very important to have pattern separation and just update any relevant piece of structure to what's most relevant. So right now, what takes precedence is this particular structure pattern where I could expect some momentum towards the end of the structure, wait for some form of a compression or a stop hunt and a continuation to the downside to retest the start of this pattern here, the expanding wedge. Obviously, further decline, we can see price continue to drop down to these levels of unfilled liquidity. So the game plan for the DXY really is to find some commitment from the sellers, as we're currently witnessing some compression. We've completed a stop hunt of a double top. So it's looking really interested, but again, we need to remain patient. So for now, there's nothing too appealing for a short unless we have one more stop hunt. If we can have one more stop hunt, as long as it's some form of a compression, then that could be a good trade for a long-term position to the downside. So that's the game plan for the DXY. Next on the list is dollar yen. So dollar yen, I'm waiting for the same schematic that I took on this time frame, which was, as you can see from here, this particular schematic is very common. I'm still trading the same setup. So we have some equal highs. We've got the equal highs. Following the equal highs, usually there's a stop hunt. Once there's a stop hunt, what's to follow next is some form of a compression and a stop hunt of the first stop hunt. This is where I'll be looking to get involved on this particular schematic, whether we see it either here somewhere on a smaller scale. So we've already got the equal highs. As you can see, we've got the equal highs. So now I'm expecting, we've got the equal highs here. We've got one high, the second high. I'm expecting a stop hunt, a drop, some form of a compression, and then a stop hunt of the first stop hunt. Then I can look to get involved on this particular trade. So, it could either happen at plan A or plan B just above on this equal high. So that's the game plan for dollar yen, keeping it really simple and just repeating the same process over and over again. The trick is to master one strategy, one entry, one time frame at a time. So this is the game plan for dollar yen. I'm looking for something similar to this. Obviously, if price does part of the schematic and it does do a stop hunt, I don't like taking the first stop hunt because based on my data and my back test, normally it fails. I prefer waiting for confirmation, a break of low, and then wait for the next pullback. Now, if the next pullback is approaching the first stop hunt with momentum, then I'll be looking to cancel the order. Again, I need some form of a compression to run. So there's a few rules and areas that you need to follow. So that's the game plan for dollar yen. Next on the list is euro pound. Again, euro pound, I'm waiting for something similar. I'm already prepared for multiple scenarios. There's plan A here, there's plan B, and again, I'm waiting for the same schematic. So what I'm expecting is, a potential one small little drop to trick traders on the wrong side, so everyone can be convinced that this is a valid double top. But then I'll be looking for a stop hunt, preferably somewhere within some levels of unfilled liquidity here or even here. Once this happens, wait for one more drop, then I'll look for the retest, some form of compression, and catch this level of unfilled liquidity, where I could expect a nice sharp drop to retest this level of unfilled liquidity, well, I'll be looking for the same schematic. Again, some equal lows, a stop on of the double bottom, a pullback to either here or back up here, wherever it happens, wait for the pullback, compression, look to the left, catch the stop hunt of the first stop hunt, and then look to get involved. So that's the game plan for Euro Pound. Next on the list, well, it's not really next on the list, this is New Zealand CAD. It's actually a trade that I completely forgot about, and it played out nicely. If you guys recall, we forecasted a move to the downside to retest, you know, this was actually back here somewhere. You know, there was so much room to the downside to retest this level of unfilled liquidity and a third type of structure, following the stop hunt of this double top, the liquidity, and a third type of this structure. So it's the same schematic, but just on the other way around. We go to the 4-hour time frame. You know what actually happened? I saw a bearish setup. I saw a stop hunt of this double top, which we forecasted that price could likely retest this level, and it did. Now the reason I don't really like taking this entry here, for example, even though I know it's going to go there lightly, you know, I don't really know where to place my stop loss. It could be tight, it could be medium, or it could be wide. You know, I don't know. And when you don't know, there's a fine line between gambling. This is why I prefer taking a second entry that's more confirmation. So again, we have a stop hunt. It pulled back. Once it pulled back, now I've got a double top here. We have some equal highs, and I'm using just the same schematic. We've got the equal highs, we've got a stop hunt of that level, taking out the lows, and whatever happens next, I'm now setting my order on the first relevant bang level just above the first stop hunt. So I'm catching the second stop hunt where I'll be looking to get involved, but this time I know where to place my stop loss, as you can see to the left, just above here. Then, you know, I held the trade, completely forgot about this order. I've been so busy, and I wake up this morning and I see that I made 4R, and I was pretty happy with it. So, you know, the market was actually consolidating, completely forgot about it, and then all of a sudden I wake up and boom, you know, very, very good entry. Unfortunately, you know, I never held it. What I should have done is have 2 entries, in fact, bank 80% here, and running that. Should really be running that just under 10R. But unfortunately, that never happened. I was actually really busy. So that's the thought process, and it was the game plan for New Zealand CADs. Hopefully some of you guys caught it and are still in it, but that remains to be seen. So that's it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's live stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.